Never in my lifetime have I seen such a sense of urgency to bridge the gap in generations. For those of us who are living globally mobile lives, we have been separated from our tiny nephews and our aging parents and many, many other loved ones in between. I don't have to tell you that there's a sense of urgency about bridging the gap between generations in the times of COVID. But today, I'm here to talk about this level of bridging generations in an even deeper way, because I am deeply spurred by the belief of what is possible when we create intergenerational learning. My name is Sundae Schneider-Bean, and I am a solution-oriented coach and intercultural strategist. And today, I want to share with you the learning and the beliefs that I have around intergenerational learning. I believe that each individual has hard-earned life experience, and if shared, the resulting wisdom from this collected insight could benefit someone else in overcoming a similar challenge. I believe there is commonality in our struggles and that there is value in sharing how those who have gone before us have faced them. And I believe that there are stark differences in our experiences, and by sharing them, we gain a more complex picture of ourselves and the myriad of ways one can be human. I believe that when we come together in trust, humility, and mutual respect, that deep and meaningful collective wisdom can emerge. Imagine that. Imagine a world where we come together across generations as a powerful force, breaking down harmful narratives that we're fed about relationships and marriage and aging and our bodies and success and more. And in this community, we discover our own humanity and strength to embark with open eyes in new ways on our path ahead. I want to live in that world. Doesn't that world sound amazing? So in the summer of 2021, I took one small step forward to create that, and that is Wisdom Fusion. For 8 weeks, 20 women from around the world came together, representing over 1,000 years of hard-earned experience. And we had deeply honest and open conversations. Why did I do this? Because it is so important. I know that intergenerational learning and intergenerational wisdom is nothing new, right? We know from anthropologists and spiritual teachers and historians that we've been gathering across generations for millennia. But as you've seen, this practice of intentionally sharing our wisdom across cultures and generations has been receding because of our fast-paced digital lives. We're seeing it from research, and we know that we are becoming more isolated and lonely, especially in the West. And COVID has definitely magnified all of this, right? So that, and at the same time, we do have intergenerational relationships in our families, but they might come tethered to an agenda, or someone that we love might serve a role that is tied to a specific outcome of something that is on our heart because they're an in-law, a parent, or a grandparent, right? So we are stuck in this opportunity to create these relationships and are living in spaces that might feel tethered, right? Add that to the distance that is there with the divide from COVID. Right? But it's urgent that we create these relationships outside of our defaults, because I don't know about you, but I'm starving for fresh insight and creativity, and I want to understand others and myself in brand new ways, right? I want to question what we've learned and discover what we need and really want, right? And I know that it has the power to transform even our intergenerational familial relationships that we have and that we crave, right? I can't sum up what I learned in those 8 precious weeks and since that experience. But I can tell you that intentionally bridging the generational gap is worth it, right? But it does require a few things of yourself. One, it requires courage, right? That courage to do something different, to step out of the box, to initiate relationships that might not seem normal. I know for me, when I started this endeavor, the Wisdom Fusion Project, as a mid-40 something, I reached out to a 20 something, and I had to have the courage to say, hey, can we do this thing together, and get rid of my story of I'm not going to be cool enough or tech savvy enough for this person to connect with me. I had to get over my story and find my courage to ask someone who was almost 70 to share her wisdom with me and allow myself to ask those naive questions or daring questions I've always wanted to ask, right? So courage is important. The second is intentionality. Look around at who you connect with, and are you intentionally creating relationships that cross generations? Are you looking at someone and only seeing them as someone you could mentor, or are you looking at them as a source of mutual connection and maybe even their own wisdom, even if they're younger than you? So being intentional about bridging the generation gaps in your friendships, in your work relationships, beyond your comfort zone. The third is to strip away what we know. What I've learned in this journey by reading the social scientific literature is that we think we know how Gen X is or Gen Z is, but we don't know. There's so much that we hang on gross overgeneralizations and stereotypes that does not go against the real data. So having this idea of not knowing and stripping away what we think we know and starting from that place of courage and curiosity and intentionality will help you along the way. And the final thing is to remove the hierarchy and simply honor the wisdom that is there, that we can be both learners and teachers, whether you're 20, 40, or 70. How can we hold that space of being both a learner and a teacher, no matter where our counterpart is on that generational spectrum? That will truly create a rich experience, right? The members of the Wisdom Fusion Project often said to me that it filled a need they didn't even know they had. And I believe it's something primal. It's this need for connection that's embedded in mutual inspiration and deep learning, right? You can tell this is something that means the world to me. I hope that it inspires you to bridge the generational gaps in your life and be intentional and courageous.